Welcome to Peace in Math. This video will give you some examples on how to add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. Dividing polynomials is a little more complicated, so we'll save that for a separate video. Let's start with adding polynomials. To add polynomials, you're basically just combining like terms. So we've got an x cubed here and another x cubed there. If I combine these terms, adding the coefficients and then keeping the exponent the same, that would give me 11x cubed. And then I have x squareds. So I have a positive 1x squared, negative 1x squared. Those would add up to 0, so those will cancel out. And then next, so I've got x to the first power. So here's minus 7x. There's no other x to the first power, so I'm just going to bring that one down. And then lastly, we have our constants, negative 9 and negative 13, which if we add those, we get negative 22. And so here we added the polynomials. To subtract polynomials, we're going to distribute this negative sign to each of these terms that are in the polynomial that's being subtracted, and then we'll combine like terms. So this negative 5x to the fifth, if I distribute the negative, I'm going to change this to addition, and then this becomes positive 5x to the fifth, this becomes positive x cubed, this becomes negative 2x, and then negative 4. And then I can combine my like terms. So starting off with the biggest exponent, I've got 4x to the fifth and 5x to the fifth. Adding those, we get 9x to the fifth. There's no x to the 4, so let's go to the x cubed. Here's 1x cubed and another x cubed. So adding those, we get 2x to the third power. And there's no x squared, so let's go to the x to the first power. Here's minus 6x and minus 2x. Combining those, we get negative 8x. And all we have left over now is this constant, negative 4. And now we subtracted the polynomials. Alright, the last operation we'll talk about in this video is multiplication. So since nothing's in between these two parentheses, it's implied we're doing multiplication. So we're just going to basically be doing the distributive property again. We've got 2x times x to the third, and if it helps, you can put in the coefficient of 1. And we're going to be multiplying the coefficients and then adding these exponents. So 2x times x cubed, this will give us 2x to the fourth power. And if I multiply 2x times 7, that gives me 14x. And now I'm going to distribute this negative 3 to both these terms. Negative 3 times x cubed gives me negative 3x to the third power. And negative 3 times 7 gives me negative 21. And there's no like terms to combine, so this is our answer. But I'm going to write this in standard form. And that's just where I'm putting the terms in order of exponents going from biggest to smallest. Okay, so I'm just basically switching these two. That way my exponents are in descending order. Here's one more multiplication example, and this time we have a trinomial. Now you can still do distributive property, and you just distribute the 2x to each of those terms. You just have one extra arrow to do, and same thing if you were to distribute the 3. You would multiply 3 times each of those, and then add up all your like terms. But if you start to get trinomials, you might want to use the box method just to help you keep things organized. For the box method, I'm going to take the first polynomial, and I'm going to write this down here vertically. And then I'm going to draw a box in between these two. And now I'm going to draw in some lines separating the rows and the columns. I've got 3 terms here, so that means I have 3 columns, and then 2 terms here, so that gives me 2 rows. And now I'm just going to multiply. So I'm going to do 2x times each of these terms that are in the polynomial. And then I'll do 3 times each of those, and just line them up as I go. Okay, so remember, you're multiplying coefficients, adding the exponents. So for the first one, 2x times 1x squared, this will give me 2x to the third power. And then 2x times negative 7x, that will give me negative 14x squared. And then 2x times negative 2, this would give me negative 4x. And now for the bottom row, 3 times 1x squared, this would give me 3x squared. 3 times negative 7x, that gives me negative 21x. And then 3 times negative 2, that gives me negative 6. And now we're just going to combine all of our like terms. Now with the box method, when I add up all the like terms that are in these squares, what's nice is that they kind of line up along the diagonal. So here's the 2x squared terms, and here are the x to the first power terms. So my final answer, I'm going to start off with the biggest exponent, 2x to the third power, and if I add these, 3x squared plus negative 14x squared, that gives me negative 11x squared. Combining these terms, negative 21x and negative 4x, those add up to negative 25x, and then my last one at the end, the constant negative 6. And that's how you multiply using the box method. Here's some more problems if you want a little extra practice. Take a second, pause the video, and then try these on a scrap piece of paper. Then at the end you can check your answers with the worked out solutions. Good luck! Here's the complete list of all the answers to the practice problems. For problem number 4, make sure you don't distribute this exponent since you have two terms in this parentheses. You've got to multiply it by itself, so write it twice and then multiply it out like how you did in problem number 3. I hope this helped you get a little more practice with adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials, and hopefully this helped you find a little more peace in math. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.